If you're trying to unlock the classroom shelter en route to Vostok, the substance task from the doctor is probably the biggest obstacle standing in your way. This task requires you to travel deep into Vostok, find 3 massive oil samples inside the terminal, and then escape from the permadeath zone without losing your character. In this guide, I'm going to show you how to reach terminal, exactly where the oil samples can appear, what they look like, and how to prepare for the trip so you don't arrive without enough inventory space to carry them or get outgunned by the dangerous enemies that patrol that area. Let's get into it. Hey guys, I'm Ghost and welcome back to the channel. The substance task is given to you by the doctor inside the school. According to the task description, the doctor believes that the chemicals released during the tank railcar disaster may have contained something far more dangerous than standard industrial chemicals. To investigate this, he's asking you to retrieve 3 oil samples from the nearby oil terminal. Completing this task for him rewards you with the classroom key. This key can be used to unlock the classroom shelter that's inside of the school right next to him. This is huge, guys, and it's going to give you another permanent base of operations in a very useful location between the village, highway, and outpost. Before we begin the journey, you need to understand how large these oil samples actually are. Each oil sample weighs about 10 kilos and is going to take up 12 inventory slots in a 2x6 shape. In order to escape the terminal with all 3 in one run, you're going to need to reserve 36 inventory slots before accounting for your weapons, armor, ammunition, food, or additional medical supplies. Because of their unusual shape, you should be bringing one of your largest backpacks and leave as much of it as empty as possible. Do not travel all the way to terminal with a bag full of random loot and assume you can just squeeze these inside. Now I recommend beginning the main part of this journey from the shelter tent inside of Outpost. Use the tent to save your game, organize your equipment, and leave behind anything you do not absolutely need. You're going to want to bring reliable armor, some medical supplies, enough ammunition for an emergency, and plenty of food and water. Food and water is especially important because every single map transition advances time and removes hydration and energy. Now, if you don't know how to get to the outpost to begin, let's first look at that real quick, starting from the village. What you're going to want to do is just exit your cabin and stay to the right all the way until you reach the wall, and then turn left and follow it all the way up until you find the transit to the school zone. If you're more comfortable, you can just head directly to the generalist and then straight from there. It's pretty much a diagonal. Now, once you spawn into the school zone, just stay straight all the way down to the highway and you will find the transit to the outpost. Once you spawn into the outpost, the nearest tent and safe shelter for a while is going to be with the tent that's located just to your left. You will need to head to the other side of the map in order to find the minefield transit. Whenever doing this, I really recommend staying to the left so you can just swing by the weapons specialist and pick up any weapons or armor you may be lacking. Trust me, you're going to need it if you're heading to terminal. Now, after leaving the outpost, your first destination is going to be the minefield zone. The mines on this map are procedurally generated, meaning their positions can change every time the area loads. I don't recommend you blindly follow an old route or just assume that a path you survived previously will always remain safe. Remember that every time you enter this zone, the mines are going to respawn and change position. You're going to want to move very carefully through the minefield, keep your eyes on the ground, and avoid just sprinting through areas that you have not yet inspected. Your objective is simply to cross the minefield and reach the apartments transition. The fastest way to get through the minefield is just to head straight. Just know that whether you do that or if you hug the edge of the map, expect to encounter some enemy resistance along the way. Now, once you enter the apartments, you are officially inside Vostok and your character is now at risk. Both the apartments and the terminal are designated permadeath maps. If you die here, this is not a normal equipment loss, but rather your save file will be deleted. Your character progression is on the line here, so you need to avoid unnecessary fights and remember that your real objective is retrieving the samples and escaping alive. The safest way to get through the apartments is to just stay to the far left or to the far right. If you head straight through the middle of the apartments, you open yourself up to being shot from the elite AI enemies that are patrolling the buildings. Once you get to the other side of the apartment zone, you will reach the final transit and find yourself inside of the terminal location. Terminal is extremely easy to recognize because the center of the map is dominated by 6 enormous circular storage silos arranged in 2 rows of 3. These 6 silos are your destination. The oil samples do not spawn inside loot containers, inside the surrounding buildings, or on top of the large tanks. The oil samples will appear as loose objects sitting directly on the concrete around and between the 6 central silos. The samples resemble large golden or brownish cylindrical containers with a warning label. Know that they may be standing upright or laying horizontally on their side, which makes them surprisingly easy to overlook when they are underneath pipes or partially hidden against the concrete. When searching the tank farm, begin at one corner and then perform a complete kind of snaking clockwise sweep around the entire 6 solo complex. Check the concrete lanes between every pair of tanks, look underneath the raised pipes crossing the area, and scan along the base of the silos. There are multiple spawns around this entire section of the terminal, and the 3 samples can occupy different points among them. Now, although the oil samples don't spawn there is some really good loot and crates that you can search inside the outer buildings, so I like to check those as well when I'm here, but ultimately keep your eyes on the ground and concentrate entirely on the concrete area surrounding the 6 large silos to find those oil samples. The safest method I've found is just to search one lane at a time so you know which parts of the tank farm you've already cleared. Now, it is possible for all 3 samples to appear during the one visit to terminal, but if they genuinely did not appear, just return to the apartment zone and then load back into the terminal to refresh the area before searching again. Remember that in Road to Vostok, the loot reloads every single time you enter an area, not necessarily every time you enter and exit your shelter. Now, you should also expect to be prepared to fight the military enemies that patrol the facility. The tanks provide excellent hard cover, but the open lanes between them can leave you exposed from multiple directions. Just make sure when you're moving around that you stop regularly and listen for footsteps or voice lines before moving into a new section. Also, make sure you're scanning and clearing the tops of the silos as well, because snipers can spawn up there. Remember what you came here for, and do not begin filling your remaining space with ordinary loot until you've confirmed that all 3 oil samples will fit. Now, once you've collected all 3 oil samples, leave the terminal through the same transition that leads back to the apartments. From the apartments, return through the minefield, and then finally return to the outpost. Once you reach the shelter tent, save your game immediately. You have successfully escaped Vostok at that point, and there's no reason to risk continuing without saving. After reorganizing and restoring your hydration and energy, travel from the outpost back to the school and visit the doctor. Once you turn in all 3 oil samples to him, you will complete the task substance, and your reward will be the classroom key. This key can be used to unlock the classroom shelter that's inside the school. Just interact with the door and you will permanently unlock another shelter, which in my opinion is going to be the best so far. And that is how you find all 3 oil samples, complete the substance task, and unlock the classroom shelter in Road to Vostok. The most important things to remember are to bring a large empty backpack, carry plenty of food and water, search the ground around all 6 central terminal silos, and never forget that the apartments and terminal are both permadeath zones. If this guide helped you find the oil samples, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Road to Vostok content. Let me know in the comments down below if there's a struggle point or guide you'd like me to do next. And as always, thanks for watching. I'm Ghost, and I'll see you in the next raid.